went to Ijanikin for secondary school. I also went to Federal Government College. I said Ijanikin. I also went to Ogun State University in Agoiwoye before going abroad for my undergraduate studies. I have 2 postgraduate degrees from Oxford, University of Oxford as well. That's where I got my training in being an innovation strategist. Okay, but with my career in the last 20 plus years doing management consulting, I've served both private sector and public sector clients, and it's been interesting. And I've done that for years. I set up CUC Consulting 15 years ago. The company turned 15 on the 2nd of January this year. And since then, I've stepped down as managing partner to pursue this journey for a new Nigeria. I decided to go for this because I think it's a very critical moment. I think it's a moment where, it's kind of tangible in the air, the need for change. I'm particularly keen to work towards seeing how we can restore the dignity of the average Nigerian. Things are not in a good place, and I'm also uncomfortable with just sitting down and lamenting, complaining, and not doing anything about it. I also think that sometimes, once you're sure, once you have the competence, it's important for you to step up and also lead, inspire people, to work towards the change that they desire. Because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, we're tired, we want change," but it just appears as if they desire it, but need some sort of nudge. And that's what I've raised my hand to do. That hey, let's not talk about it, let's be about it. So the reality is that, first of all, just by virtue of the generation I represent, I think differently. So my perspective is always going to really be different. It's going to be different. I don't know how to not think the way my generation processes, right? So, and that's really the proposition, that we have a huge population from my generation, and yet we don't have representation, or there's nobody that can connect with that generation. And therefore, I'm saying, hey, because I can understand my people, and because I have the capacity to do what is required for this office, that I'm interested in representing, that generation. I think there are two reasons or two arguments. Number one is, I think it needs to be clear what the roles are, the skill sets that are required for that role. A president's function is very different from a councillor's function. So I'm not sure why there's a connection in the first place. But let's leave that aside. The second thing is, the same people that want you to go and become councillor, the moment you become councillor, they bunch you and say you are part of them, right? There's also value in coming from outside. you're going to see things differently. There's an argument to be made around why is it that we've had some experienced politicians for several decades and Nigeria is not in a better place. So I think it's time that fresh perspective should be injected, come and see it differently, especially with my background where you've come with sort of a problem-solving mindset. This is what I've done for 2 decades. Now let's look at the Nigerian situation and then work with Nigerians. We've not really had governments that sort of embrace the people in that change process. Let's work with Nigerians and say, hey, it's our country. We're going to rebuild. We're going to fix it together. Then we're going to improve it together. I'm very prepared. Yeah. I think we make politics sound like it's something that you shouldn't touch, when it's almost a part of your day-to-day life. Politics is everywhere. Okay. And once you've made a decision like this, mentally you should be prepared, for engaging at all sorts of levels. And I'm aware. I've thought about it before I made the decision. Discussion, talk about party. I should make a decision anytime from now about the party. But I've made it clear that, what I'm looking for is a platform that gives expression, for the youth. Allows the youth to express themselves. That's one criteria. And the second criteria is a platform that gives me a reasonable chance of securing a ticket. But ultimately, what I'm in pursuit of is beyond becoming president. It's a better Nigeria. It's contributing to the, let me say, reformation of the political landscape. So it's bigger. Becoming president is just a means to an end for me. But I'm in this for a long haul. Consultations are ongoing, and the decision for party will be made this month. Yes, it's just been a little over 2 weeks and it has been incredible. We have thousands of people that have, joined the volunteer workforce. So it's really encouraging, and I'm happy that young people are stepping up, and it's really the way for us. Yes, NSAS was not a good experience, and and all of us were not happy, right? But we do have an opportunity now to express ourselves, and that's why I said, for me, it's important that there's a platform for youth expression. Okay. So one of the things I always say to people when we have these conversations is for them to explain what they mean. What does structure mean? What does constituency mean? And many times people can't articulate it. Many times they think it's just having offices with a party flag. That's not what structure means. What's my constituency? What if I say youth and women are my constituency? It has little to do with geographic location. It has to do with a segment of the society. They are my constituency, right? Do I have structure? If I tell you I have thousands of people across the country, what are they going to do? Do you understand what I mean? So I think that there are different things that have been said over time to discourage a lot of young people from participating. But I also want people to begin to understand, you know, what's happening, understand all the different aspects of the political game, so that we're able to play in a fair manner. So I'm fully aware of what is required, even in the conversations about party. I'm also considering those things, including the structure that you've said, including what we've built, including how we can combine what we've built with the structure of whatever party we move into. So there are too many factors, but yeah, those are important. Yes, you need to run in order to run for presidency the way that they run for presidency. Yes. In to run the way that they run. I'm not planning to run the way that they run. The vision is that, well, ultimately, I often talk about restoring the dignity of the average Nigerian. What does it mean? It means that we want people to become complete human beings again. Someone that cannot afford to eat, cannot afford to pay their school fees, cannot afford to pay for lights, cannot afford to pay healthcare bills. That's not a complete being, and we're depriving them of being a human being. So, for me, that's my own goal ultimately. But in order to achieve it, there are certain things that must be done. Yeah. So, I've sort of summarized the vision in 3. One is to improve the security situation. 2 is to reform some, key institutions like justice, healthcare, education. And then 3, which is supposed to be a result of the first 2, is job creation and poverty alleviation. You must do the first 2 in order for the third to happen. Sometimes politicians will come and make promises. 10 million jobs, 20 million jobs. Where are they? How can they happen if the environment is not conducive, right? So it's going to be a painful process, but it's important that we're very honest with Nigerians about what is possible and then get them involved in that process of transforming the country. But it's doable. We're not the first to go through this kind of situation. And Nigerians are more resilient and desirous of the change that once they have, an inspirational leader, they'll follow. They're the ones making a lot of other countries do well. So I'm sure that they will buy into this program once there's opportunity. In politics, you have to be open-minded, but I think it's still early in the game to be talking about, because people don't even know how things are going to pan out. People don't know, but any alliance or collaboration that will help achieve the ultimate goal is definitely welcome. I think we have an opportunity in 2023. Our future is now. It's not, we've been told that we're leaders of tomorrow, and we've been told that for years. But we cannot continue to see things go down like this. As you are like this, I'm sure you're not happy with the situation. And if you talk to everybody, so why should we get to a situation where it's almost like we are resigning and suggesting that this is our fate, that things can never be better? No, I disagree. And I think that the more people begin to see that they have a role to play in this process, then there's a chance for us to actually turn this around. We're 200 million people. It's not possible, that you don't have 50 million or 100 million people that say we want a better Nigeria. No, I disagree. Nigerians want things to turn around, and that's my belief, and that's one of my motivations, that and what makes me comfortable to go on this journey. The belief that Nigerians are ready for true change.